We are hoping that we get no surprise in our main event. We expect it to be a good one with Bobby Ches taking on Uriah Grant. What do you think's going on in Bobby Ches's mind? He seemed very relaxed this morning coming into this yet another comeback effort.
He said he's got some butterflies, but he's very confident of his ability, and the psychology has to be significant with a fighter. You don't look at it objectively like I've got to do some X's and O's things. You've got to feel like you're invincible, and that's what's going through his mind right now. He sized it up that he was the better fighter here, and that's what's going through his head, I think.
Well, he took some time off, tried to learn the restaurant business, he told us, and he said, you know, I found out that business is almost as tough as boxing. He said, and I really had the quest and the desire again to come back to boxing, and so he's doing it again. He told us something interesting. He said that he was bumped into Donnie Lalonde recently, and he said to Donnie he couldn't decide whether he wanted to come back or not, and Bobby said to him, "You'll be back."
That's
and sure enough, he is. Meanwhile, guess what? More boxing action. Anthony Suggs and John Brown handling here the 4-round lightweight bout, and we'll go up to Michael Buffer for it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 4 rounds. It's in the lightweight division, and the referee is Rudy Battle. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the red trunks with white trim and weighs an even 136 pounds. From Alexandria, Virginia, he's undefeated as a professional, 3-0, 2 KOs. Introducing the Terminator, Anthony Suggs. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with red, white, and blue trim. He weighs an even 135 pounds from right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Also undefeated, 3-0, 1 KO to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, John the Beast from the East, Brown.
Rudy Battle will call these gentlemen to the center of the ring.
Okay, gentlemen, I expect a clean break at all times. Watch your low blows and watch the holding and hitting. Any questions? All right, I want a clean contest. Good luck to both of you. Let's shake hands.
Take a look at Anthony Suggs. Comes in here undefeated, as does his opponent, John Brown, from Atlantic City, so he'll have some home folks rooting for him. Round 1, it is scheduled for 4. Overhand right by Brown. Trying to do what Keith Providence did in the last fight, end things quickly. Coming right at you here, and you can see the pressure that Brown is putting on Anthony Suggs.
And the right hand where he threw it is such an effective shot against the southpaw.
Brown, a 20-year-old, while Anthony Suggs is 24. And if Anthony Suggs looks familiar to you, you have seen him here on ESPN. He won the gold medal in the 1987 Olympic Festival, and we chronicled that for you. And by the way, we'll be back in Minneapolis this year for the Olympic Festival.
It's always something to see who developed from that and who peaked early.
And many times we've seen boxers now in our top-ranked boxing series that got their beginnings in that tournament. Suggs missing with the right hand. Brown working pretty good on the inside. Good hook by John Brown.
Certainly has a good concept of what he needs to do to be effective. He gets down low and he digs to the body and shows hand speed.
When I arrived here, John Brown was checking in, and manager trainer Bill Johnson. Now, I think Johnson and Brown are pretty easy names. They had to repeat their names about 40 times to the desk clerk, and I was thinking, now, what's tough about that? But they managed to get it all straightened away. He got a room, and look at him. He's wailing away here in the first round. Though Anthony Suggs is counterpunching pretty well also.
To compound the situation, he's from around here.
Yeah, you'd think they could have stayed at home. He didn't even have to come to Stanford. Al Bernstein along with Dave Bontempo bringing you our usual complement of action here on Top Rank Boxing on a rare Friday night appearance. And a reminder that April 5th, when we have our 10th anniversary show, we will be moving to Thursdays. And we'll be on that night, primarily for the rest of the year. So be ready for us then. Anthony Suggs landing some good counter shots now. He's trying to get the distance with Brown.
He's not firing as much over the top as he was before.
So round 1 is history. And unlike the last bout, we're going to get to round 2. We're into round 2. That's the view that John Brown has from his corner as he walks out to meet Anthony Suggs. Both men are 3-0. So barring a draw, somebody's win streak is going to come to an end. Round 1 punch totals. Pretty close, but Brown with the edge.
Especially early in the round, he landed his power shots. Suggs came on from a distance at the end.
And so many of those punches landed to the body. That's one thing I like about our punch profile. Unlike many judges, when a guy lands a clean body shot, they count him, and it's important. Overhand right by Brown.
Let him go, let him go.
Suggs took it well, though.
See some of the dilemma in young fighters. The big shot came from Brown, but then he had to reload.
Suggs looking to counterpunch, but it's Brown with the left hook that gets there.
Well, they've each got a stylistic problem in this fight, and Brown has overcome his against the taller opponent he's getting inside. Suggs' problem is punching over the top of a smaller opponent, and he hasn't really solved it.
And Brown facing a left-hander to boot, so he's got a couple of obstacles to get over, and as you say, so far, he's doing it quite well. And Dave, we see the footwork there. Brown pretty much getting that left hook foot outside the right foot of Suggs, which you want to do against a southpaw. Not in that instance, but in most cases he's been able to do it.
Keep outside the power shot, and really can set you up to get your right hand off.
Too much jabbing by Brown. Able to work his way in without using that punch. A lot of those blocked by Suggs, but some are getting through.
Brown is quite workmanlike. He just gets in, gets whatever he can, gets back out, and then reloads.
And he's continuing, as you said, to get under the punches of Suggs. Under half minute left in round 2. So far, John Brown is fighting a very heady fight. Doing quite well here in the second round also. Making Suggs miss. And he waves to Anthony Suggs, come on in. That'll do it for round 2. And we will follow John Brown into his corner. Bill Johnson speaking to him there.
Roll the shot to him. You're going 2 down and 2 up. Step over, look right hand, look left foot. Okay? Yes, sir. All right? Good. Check it out. Check it out. Two uppercut, right hand underneath, hook over the top. So you come right back with the right hand straight up the middle.
Good, John.
Okay.
Good, John.
Now once your hands mix,
Just like in a fight, John.
There you see Brown from the side landing his shot in. He ducked down low and then put it up.
And part of the reason that punch didn't have as much power on it is it was such a windmill punch. There was literally no body behind it. Anyway, we head into round 3. It is scheduled for 4. John Brown in the black trunks and Anthony Suggs in the red. There are a couple of undefeated young lightweights. Brown pushing Suggs back. May have rocked him there for a moment.
He got some good advice in the corner between rounds, and he's responding to it. First go downstairs with the right hand, and then go over the top with the left hook. Brown's margin a little bit more defined in this round. And look at the low percentage by Suggs.
Punches in round 2, and John Brown did some excellent work. And here in the third, he came out smoking again. Good right hook by Suggs. That looked like it may have stunned Brown momentarily. Brown gets on his bicycle. You're scoring. Brown twice, huh?
Got Brown winning twice, both rounds pretty close. Suggs has to look for an uppercut here against the smaller opponent. Brown gets down and makes himself a small target, and he avoids the counter shot.
Here in round 3, Suggs has managed to land a little bit more. Brown missing with that overhand right. John Brown slowing down a little bit, although he's getting way low underneath Suggs' punches.
Well, he's taking the style tip to heart and then some more. He has to get down low, but he's been a little bit too low in some cases to land his shots.
Yeah, he's not in a position to punch there. Suggs landing a good straight left hand, but a right comes from Brown. Neither man a devastating puncher, but right hand by Suggs doesn't affect John Brown. They're both landing good shots on the inside here. Suggs with a 3-punch combination. They are opening up here in the third. Suggs just measuring with that left hand, leaving himself open.
And he's been able to do it from outside. That's why Suggs has been successful.
Right hand lands. This has become a very entertaining bout here in round 3.
The two fighters with only 3 professional bouts so far, they're giving the fans a lot.
Half-minute left to go in round 3. And it's been the best round of the fight. Brown going to the body and lands a good overhand right. So round 3 is done, and it may have made this a closer fight than it was before. We'll be back for the final round. We are headed to Lake Tahoe on Sunday, April 1st to see light heavyweight Olympic champion Andrew Maynard take on Mike Cedillo. A significant step up for him, Dave, because Cedillo just challenged for a world title. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it should be a good bout.
Here's Brown doing some good work in the third round behind the jab. He landed the right hand from a distance. And not much in terms of technique that round. Only 18 of the 139 punches in that round were jabs.
They were looking to close things out, both fighters. So they abandoned the jab and went for the big shots. Round 4, the last round. And Anthony Suggs in the red trunks, who is undefeated, along with John Brown, also undefeated. They had quite a war there in the third, didn't they?
And the percentages went up. The good, solid shots went up, too.
So this one looks for all the world like it's headed toward a decision, and maybe a close one, although the pure punch numbers that we have would indicate Brown is ahead, but you never know.
I thought Suggs won the last round. So it's a matter of perspective, and which shots did you think were the power punches?
So this one a close one in your mind, and I would agree. Suggs moving in now, perhaps sensing that he's got to make something happen. John Brown has been just a little bit sharper over the first 3 rounds.
You see what the pace of the fight has done with Brown, too. Not getting down as low as he was before. More of a straight-up fighter, and that's why he got caught with some shots in the last round.
John Brown, a young 20-year-old who looks like he could develop. Of course, Anthony Suggs has that great amateur background at 24. Good skills, but he just has met maybe a style that's been troubling for him tonight.
He's been bullied by Brown on the inside. And Suggs has not been able to adapt to shooting his punches over the top of Brown. He's got to develop an uppercut.
Yeah, that's a very good point, David. Now Suggs moves to the right-handed stance. Kind of an act of desperation, perhaps, here in the 4th round. Lands a right hand, though.
That style switch often a concession speech of its own.
Good point, yeah.
Let him go. Stop wrestling. Stop wrestling.
Rudy Battle making sure that this one stays neat and clean to the end. And you sense in Anthony Suggs some desperation here, trying to make something big happen. He's landed some pretty good right hooks, but probably not enough.
Brown's always been able to rebound and go back into his style better than Suggs has been able to go back into his.
Only seconds remaining in this bout. John Brown keeps wailing away with the right hand. This has been a pretty close 4th round, so it's not out of the question that we might be headed for a draw even here.
4-round fights are famous for.
Yeah, that's for sure. This one is history. A couple of good young boxers give us an excellent account of themselves. And this one surely up for grabs. Probably a big disappointment to this man, Anthony Suggs, in a way, because he's maybe a little more highly touted because of the amateur experience and a good technical fighter.
And somebody who could not utilize those techniques tonight because Brown got underneath him and forced some things out of him that he didn't have. The ability to fight inside and use the uppercut, which he's going to have to develop in future fights.
And you look at young John Brown, the 20-year-old from here in Atlantic City. Has to be pretty happy with his effort, although he probably would have liked maybe a stronger finish. Well, Michael Buffer will tell us who won this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Frank J. Cairo scores about 39-37. Gene Williams has it 39-37. And Jimmy Condon scores it 40-36 for the winner by unanimous decision, John Brown.
Not so close in some of the judges' mind. John Brown gets a win. And when we return, the ringside report. So don't go away.
Let's have a round of applause, please.